Welcome back, Warriors. Valhalla here again. Today I am going to be going over my account and re-gearing everything for BP, for GVG. I haven't done that in a while, so I'm going to do a complete ungear and re-gear of everybody. See what we can get our heroes to max BP for the attacks and just for hopefully finish up tied. And in the meantime, I'll probably just go over and just start ranting about certain things in the game that I think might help. Things that I think people might want to see, will improve our quality of life, and overall, personally, things I'd like to see. So, first, since it just happened to me, I'm not exactly thrilled about this one, but the whole fact of you can get completely screwed for ancients, where we have a Lord Pitty, but we don't have a Non-Lord Pitty. And I just went 199 summons and didn't hit a single legendary. Which, for normal summons where you can get those all day, every day, you can get about 50 a week or more if you just play the game. Ancients, on the other hand, we all know are so hard to get, and by doing so, they should be more rewarding. And to have gone through 199 of them and not gotten anything is kind of, a big slap. So I think they should introduce a non-Lord Ancient Pitty. That way we don't get completely screwed. I know from watching Fasty's videos, I think he kind of had the same experience, where at some point he pulled a stretch and got some HARs, obviously, but he did not get any non-Lord Ancients. He had picked up, who was it? I think he picked up Ardia, and then from the longest time, he just didn't hit anybody. And to work for Ancients is kind of like the way of the Great Equalizer, because that's where all these power units come from. And without them, most accounts will struggle. So, if we include that, I think that's just a good thing to be added to the game. Next thing, I really would like to see more gear slots. I know they gave us a couple more gear slots, but we really need more. The amount of gear that we farm or have to keep now is increasing ever more, and the amount of slots we get, we can't change. We can't buy them. So either they need to give us more or give us the option to purchase more, just like they do with character slots or hero slots. That would be a big benefit. With another thing I would like to talk about is hero resets. I know a bunch of people that started the game, myself included, put all of some skill dust, skill crystals into these heroes, and figured out that they're just not that useful. For me, I know personally I would like to have at least 2 heroes back of crystals, and I'm sure there's plenty more that other people would want too. So I also understand that because they're selling them, they're rare. It's kind of like they want to make them scarce so they can either get people to buy them, but at the same time, being able to have some sort of reset is good. I know if we go to Pope here, I could reset him. We have 1. So every account got 1 reset when the Boreas debacle hit, where we could replace or refund Boreas. But I think being able to chain those other ways throughout the game would be very beneficial. That way people don't feel like they have to hoard their dust or hoard their crystals in the early game and wait for that one hero that they need to use it on, because you don't want to max out Nocturne, let's say, or you don't want to max out Salazar. I know I put some crystals in here. He's almost maxed out. I'd like to have him back because I don't use him anymore. I used him. He carried me through the beginning when I first started, but now he's not very useful for me. So I'd like to see some more hero resets to get some things like that back. I'm saving mine just because I threw soul stones into Praetus, but I really would like to get my soul stones back to put into Ingrid, because I think an A3 Ingrid is better than an A4 Praetus. So I'm debating on doing that. I was holding out to see if I could get a soul stone from one more soul stone from Guild Boss. It's been a long time since I've gotten one, so I'm maybe hoping that I get one sometime soon, but it's not looking so hot. So alright, I think most of my DPS gear is now ungeared. I'm gonna leave some of those healers because they shouldn't really affect BP much. Yeah. Alright. We're going to say we're pretty ungeared here. So, the PvP snapshots, I know it's coming in the next patch. Those are going to be really, really nice, and we really need to get some of those. Lego Soulstones is something that I feel like we need to get a little bit more of as well. We really need another way of attaining a Soulstone guaranteed, or something if you work towards it, whether it's Soulstone shards per week or something like that, just because you still have to pull the base hero, right? You're not going to use a Soulstone to get yourself a Praetus, but if you're just so lucky enough to pull one, you now have the ability to Soulstone them. And there's definitely always more heroes coming out and more heroes that you want, that it's not going to hurt their bottom line to give everybody a couple Soulstones, whether it's character specific during events or just legendary Soulstones in the shop or shards. There's lots of ways of doing that. So we definitely need to do that. I think the Epic shop is definitely also a lot less useful. You know, I have like 50k tokens right now, and there's just not enough to buy. There's nothing really useful. They just added a couple items here and there, but there's really not much that we're gonna want, and it doesn't keep up with the amount of that you pull once you get to the stage in the account where you have that's not bad, 114. all right, well, we got ourselves a Uridan, guys. So if you guys don't know, the method for doing this is you kind of do a quick equip on equip, and then you go to the next hero and you see like what it's going to be. So Praetus is at 106 with that very same gear that we just had on Uridan. So Uridan is most likely to be your highest. Praetus is second. Valkyrie looks to be 3. Silas is actually higher than Valk. Jira can get to about 110, so she's at 106, so that's pretty good. And then Ingrid, I don't think it's going to hit that high. Yeah. The only other person that might hit that high, Setram might hit that high. No, Setram can't even hit that high. So, looks like R6, which I kind of assumed was already going to be the case, is going to be Uridan, Pope, Valk, Jira, and Silas. Just because they're really high base BPs. I built out Setram, I skilled them all up just for GVG. I never ever used him to affiliate. I know he's still A1, but it just seems like he just can't keep up with the rest of them. Oh, does he have an artifact? Yeah, okay, so he has a little bit to go from the artifact. Forgot about that. I think the rest of these guys have their max artifacts, so she's not in a Wailing Skull. I only think I have one maxed Wailing Skull. Yeah, I have one more at 19, so I need 2 more copies to max that one out. Then Silas should have his Spirit Siphon. Pope should have a book or tier. and then Jira Lunacy Visor. So unfortunately we have 3 fighters, which means I would need to have 3 max Wailing Skulls, which that's a hard ask. I don't farm artifacts as high. I still need gear, but let's go ahead and do this. Let's just click equip and see what we can do for Uridan. Having access to some mythic artifact shards and stuff would be really nice too. We definitely kind of a bit lacking in that area, where you can pull these unique artifacts, but you just can't level them up, which just make them so much less useful than max artifacts typically, right? Alright. That's actually kind of nice. I don't even have to use an SBA set for that. So Pope had a really good SBA set on him. Wow. I wonder if it prioritizes sets, because I know I got some quad rolls. I don't have any quad roll on this, so I'm guessing we can probably up the BP here by just... he's actually not max. I'm gonna leave that one alone, actually. I bet you we can up the BP just a bit more by going for a quad roll. Like, I have some quad roll rings. Yeah. Actually, this leads me to something that really annoys me. I really hate how, for almost every phase of the game, the only gear you need is attack percent main gear. Attack speed, rarely used. Crit damage, rarely used. Rage regen, rarely used. The only place they're really used is on healers or niche situations. That didn't... I suppose I could have looked before, huh? Wow, that's shocking. Alright, well, we'll go back. Because crit damage is typically only used in Guild Boss 1, right? Other than Guild Boss 1, you pretty much don't need crit damage because everything is basically attack percent. GVG, you want attack percents. Guild Boss 2, attack percents. Right? You don't really need anything else but attack percent gear. And that just makes farming this gear so much more impossible, because you gotta find that one piece, and even if you roll a nice attack speed piece or crit damage piece, or God forbid a crit rate piece, you know, they're just not useful. You feel kind of gypped or cheated because you just can't do what you can do with a attack piece with a crit damage piece. And in almost every phase of the game, and I'm assuming new content that's going to be released, right, is probably going to require attack percent. Mainly because they're going to make it harder. They want harder content is going to have a higher threshold of attack, higher defense, and crit damage is just going to get thrown to the wayside. So if they could figure out a way of implementing crit damage back into the game in a little bit more relevant manner, that would be super awesome. Yeah. And bad ancients just hurt in general. Maybe we should find a way of selling them off for either essence or maybe a reforged token, shards or something. Just something to be useful, because as we all know, we all have those god-awful ancients that we just get and you can't do anything with them. You know, where's one of them here? That one's actually not horrible, but doesn't have attack percent on it. So just garbage in general. A 3 blue roll. Most ancients roll 3 purple. This one's 3 blue. I think I've actually rolled a ancient that had 4 blues on it. I think it was a Guardian piece. It was pretty garbage, but there's another 3 blue roll. So we got to have something useful for them. I've kept them all because I assume in the future they're going to be, hopefully be able to be sold. It just contributes to the fact that you just need more gear slots, because I'm not selling Ancients for gold. They're way too valuable, way too rare for that. I would hope that they would implement something to be able to make some use out of these bad or poor Ancient sets once you get to the end game, where you really only are looking for those quad pieces and the attack percent mains. So, alright, well, there's our GVG stuff. Looks like we got 114, 105, 105, 104, and 100. And I think I can up, maybe I can up Jira just a bit more if I put that Wailing Skull on there, but I don't know if that's going to work. So maybe I can tweak a couple things here and there just to get a little bit better. Did I end up using that new piece that I got? This piece, let's try. I actually got a variant piece that had max roll stat on it. I'm wondering if that went on Praetus. Yeah, it did. Okay, well, at least I used it. At least it helps the BP. So that maybe allowed him to not use some pieces that did not have crit rate on them. But then again, what pieces don't have crit rate on them? We don't really keep those pieces or farm those pieces, other than, yeah, there we go. Okay, so he could use that and still basically maintain max crit, because the weapon made up enough crit rate. But that crit damage is low, so now I feel like I need to re-roll it to a purple roll. But of course, we don't have any refines because they're so hard to get. So I have to wait another 2 months or whatever till they come back to the rotation of the gear dungeon shop. So anyway, that's kind of my rants for the week. Hopefully this helped. Maybe some of you guys can see how to gear some of the stuff for GVG. I haven't done this in forever, so I'm going to save these under our gear plans. And if I find a way of increasing them, I'll have to just redo it again. But it looks like it did a pretty good job. I don't see anything that I need to truly replace. So I think that's about it. I would love to hear your guys' recommendations on things you guys want added to the game, or your thoughts on my rants or improvements. And you know, I know I'm new. I know I don't have a whole lot of followers here, but like, subscribe, share. I would really like to talk, because I love this game and I just love talking about how to improve it and how to, you know, keep retaining players and make people happy, because ultimately that's how this game is going to stick around, and that's how they're going to make more money in the long run. So thank you for listening. If you made it this far, appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.